From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022 on Cinco de Mayo. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and the huevos rancheros are rancheroing. In today's recording, we go over the great news about a fourth stimulus check that has now landed in every U.S. state. I'll go over the incredible news that we delivered earlier this week, and it is LA 101. A fourth stimulus check is now landed in every U.S. state. Viewers learned earlier this week. Then we went over what the checks were yesterday, and then we applied for them last night. Today I check in with the viewers on Evenings LA to see whether they applied for those checks overnight. I'll be checking in with you in this live chat as well. Then we turn to the breaking developing details as the Build Back Better Act is heating up, but with an interesting twist today. We're having more recessionary concerns, and also now we're having concerns that inflation may not be going down. And then, out of nowhere, came the statement from the Bank of England minutes ago. The Bank of England signaling that its economy is heading into a recession with potentially still sustained inflation. What is that? That is stagflation. What does that mean for you? Out of the latest details on this breaking news report this morning. We'll be turning over to the Build Back Better Act, those additional checks that legislators represent they're going to get done for you in just a few weeks. Then we turn over to the details about six stimulus. With the latest fallout of the economic data continuing to rolling left and right, what are those Western allies going to do as now the Bank of England says, you know what? Bad situation is going to get worse. We're going to look at that SS300 and see what Jay Powell did yesterday and what the reaction is on Wall Street right now. Wall Street is crashing at just after 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the worst downturn of this market in many, many months. But the good news is that fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. I'm going to show you how to get that incredible check. Then you're going to pounce and get that incredible check. You're going to become a member. Go to the top of the chat, in comment, and get that incredible newsletter. And together, we're going to have a great Cinco de Mayo. Just so long as they do not come into the office and serve me that michelada. I do not want that michelada. They drink in Kentucky. They do not drink that here in LA. The latest details heat up. I'm ready for you. You're ready as well. Become a member, and we're going to go incredible deliciousness. That's not the michelada. It's your four stimulus checks. And the heat is on, and the details are on, and it starts right now, live from Santa Monica. And good morning, everybody. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Hope you're having a beautiful day. And thank you for joining me live on air from the shores of Santa Monica, California, a la playa, on a beautiful day for Cinco de Mayo. The great news is that a fourth stimulus check is now landed in every U.S. state. And that was taught on this channel earlier this week. It's what I call LA 101, the first class. And viewers graduated so well. I said, just repeat back to me. A fourth stimulus check has landed in every U.S. state. Viewers did so well, and they graduated for that. Then we went to the next step, which is learning what the different checks are that are in every U.S. state. And if you're new to this channel, if you're new to this video, if you've never found this channel, today I'm going to recap that as well. So you're going to get caught up in this video. Additionally, we went over what those incredible four stimulus checks are in this every single state, LA 202. And then overnight, I taught you how to apply for the checks. On Evenings LA last night in prime time at 5 o'clock, we went over how to apply for the checks, and I gave you a homework assignment. I said, I want you to go out and apply for at least one of these checks overnight, and then I want you to come back and jump into the live chat throughout the recordings on Cinco de Mayo and tell me which check you applied for overnight. I don't need to see that you got the money, just that you applied for it. I'll be checking into the live chat in this video and throughout the days of live videos as well. And then if you have a success story, I'm going to feature your success story in prime time on Evenings LA tonight. If you're new to this channel, never found it until today, go and become a member. Congratulations to the hundreds of new members every day. Becoming a member gets you that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday that gives you the details and the links and everything you need to know wrapped up in a box and tied with a bow to get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. But today we're going to first start with the big money of the Build Back Better Act, and then we're going to come back to these checks in just a second. The Build Back Better Act has the incredible push of the White House that now says they want to get it done before the midterm elections. And to get it done before the midterm elections, that means they got to wrap up the negotiations this month. They also represent internally that they're going to have it by vote by Memorial Day weekend. Normally, Americans now vote by mail. And if you vote by mail, then that means you start voting about 90 days before Election Day. That means you would need to have determination of what they're going to do this month for them to get you the check before you vote. Now, negotiations are underway between Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin, the White House spokespersons say to news, and in good faith. Good. The Build Back Better Act would give you additional, let's say that again, additional checks on top of those fourth stimulus checks that are in every U.S. state. Let's say it again. A fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state, but the Build Back Better Act would give you additional checks. But let me give you something brand new, which you've never seen until today's recording, and this is breaking news. I always told you it's so important to look at the economic data right before Congress votes on a piece of legislation. We covered that all in 2020. I said the economy could change during COVID. Could get better, could get worse, COVID can go down and go back up. Where are we right now? The latest data right now signals that the U.S. economy will be looking quite bad in early fall, really looking quite bad, then getting extremely bad by the end of the year. Now they're going to be voting way before that. So what is the economy going to look by the time at which they vote? It's going to have something that's going to be a tug and pull, which I've never featured before until today. The tug and pull is going to be two different types of economic elements. And people are going to say one about one and one about another. And I'm talking about Democrats versus Democrats, not Democrats versus Republicans. And I need to explain them for the first time right now. You're going to see an economy that's shrinking. Then you're also going to see inflation at the same time. If an economy is shrinking, what does that look like? That looks like the start of COVID. Remember in 2020, the economy was shrinking. We need stimulus to expand the economy. That's why a shrinking economy is good for stimulus, because it means we give more stimulus. However, there are going to be other people who says no, giving money brings more inflation. Now, here's what you need to know. One of those statements is true. The other one is incorrect. The U.S. economy will shrink and is shrinking right now dramatically. Why? Because we're heading into recession for 2 years starting in January 2022. And the data today is that the gross national product, the GDP, which signals how big this economy is growing or shrinking, is shrinking very quickly. It was 7.1% projected in April, then came in at 6.9%. Then it shrank about another 1 or 2%. It may be about 4% today. I believe it's going to head to about 2% by the fall and likely to about 0% by the end of the year. Then would be a negative number in January 2022. Why negative? Because negative means recession. Bank of England, here's a preview of what's coming up later in this video. Stay to the very end. I got a lot of checks. I got a lot of breaking news. I got a lot of money for you at the end of the video. Bank of England just minutes ago says, we see major shrinking of our growth, pulling back very quickly right now in May. It's hitting very badly in England. So their GDP is shrinking. Our GDP is shrinking. That is great news for Build Back Better. Very good news. That is actually correct data. The GDP shrinking will be happening, and it's good news for Build Back Better because that means you need stimulus to stimulate the economy, to grow it. However, you're going to hear something else from other Democrats. And they're going to say, but stimulus causes inflation. And that's why you shouldn't do Build Back Better Act, because when you spend as a government, you cause inflation. Is that correct economic analysis? It is absolutely 100% incorrect. It is not true. When you spend money as a government, you don't do anything to inflation. You don't do anything to inflation when you spend as a government. That's just affecting the national debt. Affecting the national debt has nothing to do with inflation. When you spend as a government, you do impact consumer activities. Well, if consumers are spending less money because of inflation, if consumers are unable to afford things because of recessionary pressures, because of supply chain disruption, if the economy is shrinking and that means businesses are making less money, maybe not hiring as much more people, then stimulus helps. That's the very basic concept of stimulus. To make it even more simple, let me tell you what's going on this morning. Just after 9 a.m. this morning, the economic data is looking exactly like the very first weeks of COVID. And I can't believe I'm even saying this, folks, but here we go. As we start Cinco de Mayo, it is not you a little too tipsy early in the morning. Yeah, it's actually happening. Dow Jones is down dramatically, 600, 800, 900 points. Down dramatically because the data is looking like the first weeks of COVID from 2020. And this is not good news, folks. And this will continue to unravel. The data comes after Jay Powell announced that major FOMC announcement yesterday. But guess what? The data continues to unravel. Large tech stocks are taking the hit today. Apple and Amazon down again. They were down last week, down 5 and 7% right today, right at the moment, just a few hours. Etsy and eBay are down 15% and 8%, and Shopify 17%. The 10-year Treasury bond, which shows you what the bond traders think is going to happen, it's now up above 3%. Ouch. The highest level since 2018. Ouch. What's going on here? It brings us back to what happened yesterday with Jay Powell. Jay Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve, announced yesterday your raise of a 50 basis point, which is a half basis point, at the May FOMC meeting. No surprise there. We knew he was going to say that. He said it. Did he give us much more other guidance going forward? No, he didn't really. So he didn't give him much guidance going forward. What are those analysts saying? The analysts keep on changing with the wind, but the analysts are now saying what I said. 1 or 2 more half basis point increases over the next 2 FOMC meetings. Pretty good, pretty consistent. But what is now happening today? What's happening today is that Wall Street is taking a major hit because they think that whatever Jay Powell's doing is not going to work and is just too difficult and is going to bring you into recession. They now believe that this U.S. economy is going to really stall up or is stalling up. What's going on? In my opinion, Jay Powell will have 2 more half basis point increases, which will give you higher interest rates, which will mean your credit card debt will be more expensive, your car loan will be more expensive, your flexible mortgage will be more expensive. And also, your inflation will not go down. I don't see the inflation going down. I think he's coming in with an aggressive hard landing, and it's not going to work because it's caused by the inflation right now is caused by supply chain disruption, which is coming out of COVID, Putin going into Ukraine, and China going into lockdown because of Omicron subvariant right there, right now. That supply chain disruption, Jay Powell has nothing to fix. He has no tools to fix it. And I think he's always going to give you is higher interest rates and still prolonged inflation. What does that cause? Stagflation. What's stagflation? Stagflation is when your economy shrinks while hitting hard with those inflationary pressure, with those interest rate rises, will shrink this economy. He knows it. He knows he's going to shrink the economy. And he's going to shrink the economy, and then you're going to have the worst of 2 scenarios. You're going to have recession and inflation. If you're around in the last recession, we didn't have inflation during the recession. Recession is just the economy shrinks. This time around, you're going to have recession and still prolonged inflation. That's stagflation. That's even worse. That's why you need Build Back Better Act to get done. And that's why it's good news for Build Back Better Act. What about that S300? Now, this is one that's sort of simpler for you. Joe needs to make that swap and call it to inflation right today because guess what? That inflation is so high. As we start May, we still have an 8% inflation, folks. And whatever Jay Powell did yesterday, it ain't going to impact this economy just yet. That's why Joe needs to make that swap and call it to inflation. That would lock in $200 more per month. I think more people are now subscribing on Wall Street to what I said, which is inflation ain't going down to anything but about 4% by the end of the year. That's then another $100 more per month. That means that if Joe Biden makes that swap from COLA to inflation right today, you'd lock in $200 more per month. And then if inflation tracks at 4% later this year, you get another $100 on top of that. That is SS300. Let's recap what we've had so far in this video. First, A fourth stimulus check has landed in every U.S. state. We're going to go over how to get that check in just a second. Number two, Build Back Better Act is proposed to get a vote and a passage by Memorial Day weekend, but the negotiations of it need to wrap up now in May. Number three, that the inflationary numbers are not coming down just yet. And as Joe makes that swath and call it inflation, you'd lock in SS 200 and potentially SS 300 by the end of the year. Wow. Student loan debt forgiveness heating up, but does student loan debt forgiveness cause inflation? We're hearing that chatter as well. Again, no, it doesn't. I don't know where this strange, wrong economics is coming from. If you forgive student loan debt, it does not create inflation. In fact, it actually may improve the GDP. If people do not have to pay their student loan debts, they have more money in the bank, they can go spend more money. That has more growth. I mean, that's sort of simple. I mean, that's just, it's sort of basic understanding. But I got to tell you, there's some people out there today saying, if you forgive student loan debt, doesn't that create inflation? No. The government spending money increases the national deficit, but it doesn't cause inflation by itself. And there you go. We'll have more about that student loan debt forgiveness tonight on E! News LALATE in prime time. Now, let's go back to what we've done so well this week. I'm so proud of you. You have done just a paradigm of success this week. We learned on Monday, LALATE 101, the following. A fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. I asked viewers to learn and memorize that line and be able to repeat it back to me. And if you could, you're ready to graduate the class LALATE 101. Let's do it right now if you're new to this channel. A fourth stimulus check is available in every U.S. state. Say it back to the camera. There you go. If you're new to this channel, you just passed LALATE 101. LALATE 202 we did yesterday. I'm going to do it again after the commercial break. I'm going to recap it for you. We're going to go over what the fourth stimulus checks are. And then, after the commercial break, I'm going to check in to see if any of you applied for a fourth stimulus check overnight. I want you to, because the checks are running out. And that is what's needed for you to graduate from Class LA 303. How do you do all this? We're going to go over it again after the commercial break. Then we'll turn to those shocking statements from the Bank of England. And then in the final part of the video, I'm going to go over more checks for you. Stay to the very end. And my commentary about something that Joe Manchin said overnight. Interesting. Very interesting. The toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. The rancheros are ranchering. The eggs rancheroing are ranchering. And the michelada just needs to stay away. We are not having that for breakfast. No michelada here. We are not in Kentucky, thank you. The beautiful day, it's just starting. But first, here's a little bit about the members community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues in the second half of Mornings LALATE live on air from Santa Monica, California. In this big second half, we're going to go over the four stimulus checks that have landed in every U.S. state. Before the commercial break, I asked viewers to jump in the live chat and tell me if they had applied for a fourth stimulus check overnight. I'll go over there to comments in just a second. But first, become a member. The link's at the top of the chat, the pinned comment. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That literally gives you the walkthrough to apply for those checks. You watch the videos, you open the workbook, the newsletter, and you apply. Now let's go over where we are starting right now. On Monday, I told viewers to see if they can graduate from LATE 101, and you did such a great job. Is a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state? A fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. If you can repeat that back, you've passed LATE 101. It's a simple statement. A fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. Present tense. Congratulations. You passed. You graduated from LATE 101. LATE 202, the second class, started the next day. In that class, I had viewers learn and memorize which fourth stimulus checks are in every U.S. state. If you're in the live chat right now, jump in there and write the checks, the letters that are in every U.S. state. I'll even help you on this one. There are 3 checks. It's 3 letters. I want to see in the live chat right now. Write the 3 letters of the 3 checks that are in every U.S. state right now. I'm going to jump in the live chat in 1 second. The incredible details is that those 3 checks are in every U.S. state, and they've been paying out, and they've been paying out for over a month. So that's why once you get those incredible checks, let's jump into the live chat and see if anyone has, someone got their application in. Great details. So can anyone in the live chat write the 3 checks that are live in every U.S. state? I think I see it there. Whoa, good news. So let's give the answer. The 3 checks that are live in every U.S. state are Check A, Check B, and Check C. Great job. Now, let's go. If you said that and you can repeat that back, you have graduated from LATE 202. A fourth stimulus check called Check A on this channel is in every U.S. state. Check B is in every U.S. state. And Check C is in every U.S. state. If you remembered that, you have graduated from LATE 202. Moreover, extra credit if you were able to also say Check D is not in every U.S. state. It's in about some of the states, but not all of them. How many? It's in about 24 of the states. We'll grow to more states thereafter. All right. Last night, we on Evenings LATE in prime time, America's Most Watched show at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, did LATE 303 class. But I didn't graduate anyone because I told people you got homework overnight. And until you pass in your homework and show me you did it, I'm not graduating you to the next class. What was the assignment? The assignment someone has already actually done on the live chat right now, so I'm so proud of that viewer. The assignment was to go out and apply for one of the checks in your state. I don't care which one it is. And I don't need to see that you got the money. I just want you to apply for one of those checks. That was your homework assignment. And let's go over, if you're new to this channel right now, you just found this channel, you're just learning everything, you're getting caught up. Let's go over how to apply for those fourth stimulus checks in your state. Check 1. You may have chosen Check A. If anyone chose Check A to apply overnight in the live chat, write that you chose Check A. It is a $6,500 to $12,000 check. The income qualification is so simple. $75,000 less, a single individual, you can get it. Go apply and get it across the board. Then, if you are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, then you can get it as well. How do you get Check A? So simple. So simple. All you do to get Check A is 1, become a member. Then go into the membership newsletter. Go right down the membership newsletter to where it says Check A. It'll give you the link. You click the button and you go right in and apply. Let's say that even slower. This is how simple Check A is. You open the membership newsletter. You look to where it says Check A. It says, here's Check A. Click. Go to the website. It'll say Homeowners Weatherizing Grant. You choose your state, like Mississippi. And then you choose the Mississippi Weatherizing Grant and go click and apply. done. So simple. Congratulations to everyone who applied for Check A overnight. You have graduated from LALATE 303. Now, let's go to the next check. You may have chosen this check, and if you did, jump in the live chat. I'm going to read your comments on air in just a second. Check B. Check B. How do you apply for Check B? Very simple, similar to Check A. First, what is it? It's a $15,000 to $80,000 forced stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 or less, you can get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you can get it. And if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, you can get it as well. It is the homeowner's grant check. How do you get it? You go right into that membership newsletter. Then go right down till you find Check B. Click the link, and it sends you into the website to apply. What does that website look like when you apply? It has a map of the United States. And in that map of the United States, you click your respective state, and then you apply there. How simple is that? Let's say that again, folks. You open the membership newsletter. You go down to Check B. Click it. Sends you right into the whole United States application. Click your state. 2 times you use your finger. 1, 2. And then you're there. All you do is type in your name, your address, your phone number, submit. There you go. 3 times you push your finger, you're done. How simple is that? Open the newsletter, click for Check B, click for the application, type your name, type your address, type your phone number, whatever else they want, enter, you're done. How wonderfully simple is that? There you go. If you've got Check A or Check B applications in overnight, let me see you in the live chat, and I'm ready to graduate you. All right, let's go to Check C. Check C does not involve your finger, but actually involves your phone and your voice and your ability to talk. With Check C, how do we get Check C? Now with Check C, very similar. Check C is one of the 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. How do you get that Check C? You go into the membership newsletter. You go down to Check C. And there it'll say, hi, here is Check C. You're going to reach out to a series of places for that Check C. And how do you know what they are? They're all in the membership newsletter at Check C. Right down in the membership newsletter where you get to Check C, it says, here's Check C. You're going to reach out to 15 places for Check C. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, your state house authority. And then also the nonprofits, about 7 of them. So you're going to make the phone call to 15 places. The newsletter, again, tells you which places to call. How simple is that? Then it tells you what to say. My goodness, am I down the phone for you as well? It says these are the words you say. Rent assistance because of COVID. Utility assistance because of COVID. Mortgage assistance because of COVID. And then it says the things you do. And you get it. Now, if you picked up the phone and called for one of those checks for Check C overnight, post to the live chat right now. All right, I'm ready to jump in the live chat right now and see who I'm ready to graduate. And I'm also going to comment on see some of the reactions of what viewers did and didn't do overnight. Let's see what some of the viewers did in the details overnight. Let's see. So, okay, so I see 2 people saying I don't own. Well, I'm going to fail you from the class because if you wrote I don't own a home, well, you should apply for Check C overnight. That's no excuse. I'm going to throw you out of the class if you don't apply for Check C overnight. Not owning a home is not an excuse because that means you go get Check C. Someone's very nice, said, I forgot A and B. That's very good. I'll give you to tonight. I'll give you extension on this assignment for a few more hours. Then let's go to some other comments. Some people are actually saying, yes, go get Check C. Don't forget to get Check C. There is someone asking about Check D, which I'm going to get to in a second. And there is Cindy doing a beautiful job. She's remembering everything. Okay, so now let me go to some of the other comments I saw in there, which I certainly saw before the commercial break, but I wanted to leave the commentary on them to now. If you're that person in the live chat and you know who you are that wrote during the commercial break, can I have the volunteers go get me a check? You're thrown out of the class. You're expelled from the University of Stimulus. You are not going to graduate from LA. If you think that the volunteers are going to go get you the check, you are not doing the homework. You're having someone else do your homework for you. No, no, no. Volunteers are not going to go deep, deep, deep with your finger like that on an application. They're not going to take your finger and push your finger into a button and apply for you. They're not going to do that. Volunteers are not going to pick up the phone and call and get you checks. Moreover, volunteers are not going to repeat what I say in the videos. The videos are self-explanatory. Let's make it even more basic. The newsletter has everything you need to know. The newsletter literally says, press here and type your name in and get your money. If you reach out to volunteers to tell them to do that for you, no. You're gone from the class. So do not say, does anyone help anyone here? No one needs to help you because you got to do this assignment yourself. You got to do this assignment yourself. No one is going to take your finger to push the button. No one's going to take your hand to pick up the phone and call. No one's going to tell you, how to speak on the telephone. You got to do exactly what's in the video and what's in the newsletter. It's all written out. There's nothing left to do except use your fingers, use your telephone, and that is it. If you're trying to have someone else do your work for you, it's just like freshman year at college when you try to have someone in the frat give you the answers to the exam ahead of time. No, you're gone from the class. So now let's turn to check D. Now, the reason why I did not want check D in the assignment overnight is because check D in many cases is not a check live in some states because it's only in about 24 of the states. And also check D could cause you to be very donut guy-ish. If you new to this channel, don't know what a donut guy is, that's someone who doesn't want to do anything. And check D in many cases is just a check that lands in the mailbox. You don't have to do anything. Well, that's not what I want you to teach you. I want to teach you how to get check A, B, and C right now. And you can get check D as well, but that's not an inherent activity for you. It either lands or doesn't land. There are some states that require you to do certain things, and it's the tax return, but I don't want to go over all that with you here. So, if you did not apply for check A overnight, go do it right now. And I want you to do it between now and Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock, and I'll be in the live chat on that show by 3 o'clock. If you did not go get check A, B, or C, you can choose whichever one you want. Check A, B, or C. Overnight, I want you to do it by the 3 o'clock show because I'll be in the live chat. And I want to see which ones you did. You only have to do one. You don't have to get the money yet. I just want you to get the application on file. Why am I being so tough on y'all with this? One, the money is going to run out. The money's going to run out, so I don't need you waiting around and thinking about this. Number two, the situation of this economy is getting worse. I have this more coming up later in this video. And number three, because we work as a team. We inspire one another. And there's also the smarty pants. There's also the smarty pants in the chat. There's some people who have already gone to LA 404. They have applied, they have gotten the money, and they're sitting around wondering, why haven't the rest of these people gotten their application file? I got the application file. As some viewers have said, they say, I'm on SSI. I've actually gotten the cash, the 60,000, 66,000. And the people in my same state are coming in and saying, how do I move my finger? You can say that after the michelada. You could say, I had too many micheladas. How do I move my finger? No, it's the morning. You can't use that excuse yet. There you go. Now, let's go over to 6 stimulus. Oh, boy, folks. This is getting interesting. I got a lot more checks for you later in this video, so stay with me. But, boy, this is getting interesting. The Bank of England has announced minutes ago that it sees major stalling up of its economy. Ooh. As you know, I've been teaching you over the last few months the importance of understanding what the headwinds are. I've been telling the viewership of this channel for 3 months that we're going into recession for 2 years, starting in January 2023. And that recession will start to manifest itself by fall of this year, that we already have 2 industries, housing and auto, potentially in recession already, but the rest of the U.S. economy will be in recession by the end of the year. Well, what did the Bank of England say today? And get ready for it to be in recession as well. Now, it didn't inherently use the word recession, but it did say its economy is dropping dramatically. The British pound right tonight, or at the time of this recording, which is live on air about 10 o'clock a.m., says it's currently, the British pound is dropping at its largest daily drop since the start of COVID. There we go again. Corporate earnings, lowest since COVID. Tech stocks, lowest since COVID. Today, yesterday, and now British pound, lowest since the start of COVID. And it's now warning the British Bank of England that this will result in sharper growth slowdown in the U.S. economy. We are walking this very narrow path, says BOE Governor Andrew Bailey minutes ago. The proximate reason for raising bank rates is points not only to current profile of inflation, which has yet to take its course, but also the inflation expectations, but the risks as well. The situation right today is that we're witnessing the clear depreciation of the sterling, says Jesus Cabrera Casulo, which is placed in a very bad situation. Here's what you need to know. I've been teaching over the last few months that we're dependent upon other economies. If they go in recession, we go to recession. If we go in recession, they go in recession. It's that symbiotic relationship. I also told you back in the last recession that certain parts of the geography of the United States went into recession before other parts. East Coast went in first, West Coast went in last. East Coast came out of recession first, West Coast came out of recession last. So we're currently seeing this all happening. What does this mean for you? I'll have it more tonight on the News LA, but let me tell you what's happening right now. The storm is coming. The storm is coming. 2 years of recession starting next year, but you're going to start to see the worst parts of it kicking in early fall of this year. You're going to start to see that the raising up of interest rates is just giving you higher interest rates, and that it's not really working on inflation. You're going to see the U.S. economy shrink, that GDP getting from 7.1 projection from April down to maybe 2% very quickly by the fall. Then you're going to start to see the sweating of it. You're going to see businesses not employing anymore, corporations not making as much money, valuations of companies coming way down. What does this mean for you? It means you can't wait. You got to get every check that's available today. As one major guy, he's big, he is huge, he's a billionaire, and he made fortunes in knowing when to spend and when not to spend. His name is Paul Tudor Jones. I'm going to feature more on Evenings LA tonight. He says this is, I think, the worst environment that we can have for financial assets. Ouch. He said that just minutes ago. He said that on Tuesday. He said this is uncharted territory. And he says the Fed has a very, very difficult task at hand. This means that if there are checks out there for forced stimulus checks, you get them right now. You get them right now and you save them. And then you get another of them. And then you get another of them. And guess what that is? That is LA 404 tomorrow. On LA 404 tomorrow, I'm going to show you, after you've now gotten your first application in, I'm going to get ready for you to get your second application in. Remember, a forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. Let's recap. Those forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state are Check A, Check B, and Check C. A forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. How do you get that forced stimulus check A? You apply. You apply on the membership newsletter. How do you get that check B? You apply in the membership newsletter. How do you get that check C? You pick up the phone and call the places featured in the membership newsletter. Candace is in the live chat. I applied for check B and I'm waiting for approval. And she says also, so she may have applied for another check before. So good. Balance says made 14 phone calls, if I understand that. That is absolutely wonderful. There's Marsha, deliciousness. Mary, what about New York? Okay, Mary, don't let me flunk you from LA 101. There is a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Look at the graphic on screen. There is a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Is New York a state? Yeah, you don't need to be asking, is there a state check in your state? There's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. So let me jump back into the live chat. Here's Chad. I put an application on file on March 15th. Got an email on April 27th. Great, Chad. So he has passed. He has graduated from LA 303. So has Candace. I'm ready to bring Candace and Chad and all the rest of you to LA 404 later this week when we apply for the next check. And there you go. There's someone else that says, I'm ready for them to process check C. great, great, great. Good. Just doing so well across the board. I'm so proud of you. I know you can do this. And why is it so important to do it the correct way and right away? The reason why is the funds are running out. Funds are running out. Number two, the storm coming on the horizon is not good. It's not good. And it's going to be bad by the fall. It's going to start to look bad in the summer, but it's going to be very bad in the fall. By the winter, it's going to be, yeah. And so that's what I do in this channel. I prepare you ahead of time. I've been telling you about what's happening next year for 4 months. Now I'm preparing you economically, financially, for getting as much money, saving up as much money. Remember, these are the checks at the moment. There could be more checks E, F, and G thereafter. But I need you to go get those applications in on A, B, and C today. Then post your success stories of getting the applications in. That's all I'm asking. Getting those applications in. That was your homework assignment. Post them in the afternoon show at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time today. And I'll feature success stories on Evenings LA in prime time. And with that, the toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. The rancheros are ranchering. Finally, my commentary about something that Joe Manchin did overnight. Now, this is interesting. Joe Manchin, as you know, has been sort of a pivotal part of that Build Back Better Act negotiations. So, and as you may have known, what happened earlier this week was a document was leaked at the Supreme Court. It's a proposed ruling on a court case that if that ruling does become the law, it would overturn Roe versus Wade, in essence, making it illegal to have an abortion in the United States. Okay, so what happened after that document came out? Democrats went to Capitol Hill, the steps outside of Capitol Hill, let me make it clear, the steps, and they stood there and had a press briefing and said, we're going to immediately pass legislation to make abortion legal in the United States in the event that this Supreme Court ruling becomes law. What did Joe Manchin do? Joe Manchin was asked, do you have a comment about the situation? He said no comment. Now, this is interesting. The question was also, would you vote in favor of what the Democrats are proposing for this? He said no comment. Joe Manchin is a self-proclaimed Democrat. He is also self-proclaimed pro-life. And he is also the person who who said he would vote against paid leave for women who have to take off from work due to pregnancies and things like that, or health issues. He has also talked about certain things in Build Back Better Act that he doesn't like concerning women and women's rights. I gotta tell you, this is one of the few times in over 2 years of this channel that I gotta say, I want to be in the room when the female Democratic senators see him say, I have no comment on the abortion rights issue, after he said he would vote against all the female and women's rights things in Build Back Better. Yeah, this is a little bit more than him saying inflation, recession. When he's not taking a position on something like this and is taking a position against paid leave, this is where it gets very interesting. That's why I want you to get every check available right today. Go into the top of the chat, pin comment, become a member, get that incredible newsletter, and then get those incredible checks. Post your success story in this chat or also in the afternoon show, especially at 3 o'clock, and I'll see you then. Then, of course, I'll see you next at noontime, and we are going to rock and roll then. It's at 11 o'clock. With that, stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the rancheros are rancheroing. Happy 4th of July, happy Cinco de Mayo, and just stay away from that michelada. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.